Wild Lives by Faunographic.
Hey, and welcome to Wild Lives by Faunographic. I'm Rochelle. Thanks for joining us. Today I'm introducing you to my mate, Paul Ojuara, who is not only a professional wildlife photographer, he's also a biologist at Brazil's Federal University of Rio Grande do Norte. Now, while a lot of his research centres around entomology, the study of insects, he also spends a lot of time out in the field photographing all kinds of wildlife, including marmosets and burrowing owls, which he'll be telling us all about today. Now, Paul lives and works in Natal, in the state of Rio Grande do Norte, which is on Brazil's northeastern tip. It's an area known for its pockets of Atlantic forest and its extensive coastal sand dunes. Unfortunately, it's also an area known for its incredibly high crime rate. In fact, Natal is considered the fourth most violent city in the world, with 102 homicides for every 100,000 inhabitants. So, being a wildlife photographer there can come with genuine concerns for personal safety. But throughout his career, Paul has spent a lot of time getting up close to common marmosets, particularly at Natal Dunes State Park, which is located inside the city, and it's a relatively safe place to be. In the past 5 years, he's also been monitoring and photographing a colony of burrowing owls. Hey Paul, it's so good to talk to you today.
Hi, Raquel. I'm very honored to be chosen to be interviewed by you for Wild Lives.
Oh.
It's a great opportunity to talk about the natural beauties of Brazil.
Well, we're honoured to have you with us. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. Now, you haven't always been a biologist or a wildlife photographer. That actually came a bit later in life for you. But in saying that, you have been into wildlife since you were very young, haven't you?
Yeah, I've always lived in close contact with nature because I was raised in a small farm, and me and my father used to take long hikes into the woods looking for orchids, camping and everything. Being outside was very nature to me. Even when I was a kid, I liked to camp in our backyard, and eventually I felt that architecture was not the right direction to go, and I decided to take a new graduation in biology. And as a biology, when I was hiking in the trails and looking for animals and everything, I felt the need to register everything, and that's what led me to wildlife photography.
So after you finished studying architecture, you studied biology, and now today you spend a lot of time in the field, which is something that you love to do. But recently you were out hiking alone when you had a pretty close call. Can you tell us a little bit about that day?
Yeah, sure. It's a very, very scary situation, but it was also an amazing experience. That place, Canyon dos Apertados, is a place I love to go. It's a very remote place, and sometimes you can hike for hours without finding anyone. And that day, I was completely alone, and I was coming from another photography site, and I decided to take a look there because I always spot something interesting in the canyon. In fact, I was thinking about getting a good shot of the Chilean blue eagle. And I have shot it before, but it was not a very good shot. And I thought going back there and try something better. And when I was there, I took a 3 miles hike, and I was going back to my car, which was still pretty far. And I listened to a persistent roaring coming from the other side of the canyon.
A roaring?
A roaring, yes.
Wow.
It was very, very interesting. And at first, I didn't know what it is. But after a few seconds, I realized it was a mountain lion, definitely. And at that time, I was really frightened because I was completely alone. My car was about 2 miles away, and I had nothing to protect me, not even a pepper spray or something. And I decided to try to look bigger than I am, and never turning my back on it. I walked backwards, next turn, and run. It was very tough because I have almost 30 pounds of gear in my bag, in my backpack. And yes, and that's what I did, because if the puma decided to attack me, I would be definitely in a big problem. And it was really, really unexpected. Although I knew that mountain lions are endemic in that region, I've never seriously took into account the possibility of finding such animal there. And when I was running back to my car, I spotted a couple of Chilean blue eagles, and I even stopped for a while to get a good shot of them. I was very brave.
That is so exhilarating and scary, but so special. I hope that you do get to go back in a safe way and see this guy and get a good picture of him. Now, one of your favourite subjects is the common marmoset, and obviously they're much less scary than a puma, but you've told me that they're called common because you can find them everywhere. With that said, do you actually remember the first time you saw a common marmoset?
No, I don't remember exactly the first time, but I was certainly very, very young because they're really common here. They are literally everywhere, sometimes even breaking into people's home for an easy meal and everything. They are very, very common. On the farm where I grew up, we can see them in large groups in the trees all the time.
So they were always around, but today one of your favourite places to go and see them is in the city itself in Natal State Park. Can you tell us a little bit about this area?
It's inside the city. It is actually the second largest urban park in Brazil. The other one is Tijuca's Forest Park. It's the biggest in Brazil. But the problem is because we have, as I told you, we have safety issues. And there is only a small area in the park where we are allowed to enter alone to photograph. At first, we can spot so many interesting animals there, mostly birds and reptiles, spiders, big spiders, and of course marmosets. Yeah, it's very cool there. The vegetation of the park is very mixed because it covers a large area, and there are spots of Atlantic forest, but also a caatinga, which is a vegetation characteristic of very dry environment. There are some very beautiful trails there, but they are open at certain times of the day only, and we can only hike there in groups with police escort.
Really?
So, yes, they are not suitable to wildlife photography because we need time to change lens and set up a tripod, and it's not possible when you are following a group. And large groups also talk too much and talk too loud and scare the animals away. So the park is still a nice place to go, and in a good day you can surely get awesome pics.
It's a place where you get some incredible photos of common marmosets, and they are freaking cute. They're really, really tiny. The males grow to around 188 millimetres, which is 7.5 inches, and the females are slightly smaller than that. But Paul, what other physical characteristics are these guys known for?
Of course, as they are primates, they look like a small monkey, which they are. But one thing that you immediately see when you spot a common marmoset is the white ear tufts and a white mark on his forehead and a long banded tail. You cannot miss that. They are multicolored with gray, brown, mostly gray and brown, but also with dark yellow spots. And they feed mostly on plant resin, and they have claws adapted to carve the trees to get the sap. And they use their nails to cling on the side of the tree and chew a hole in the trunk with their long teeth they have. They are surely very, very captivating animals.
Absolutely. Do they actually live in family units?
A marmoset group is very, very complex. And they usually live in groups of 5 to 15 individuals with only one breeding male and one breeding female and their offspring. But yes, but the group may also have other relatives and cousins and other siblings and everything. And interestingly, adults may leave their natal group when they become adults or not. Or they can remain there for life. And no one knows what can make an adult leave or stay with the group. And another very, very interesting fact is that males do not mate with breeding females that they are related to.
Oh, good.
Which helps to diversify the genetics of the group, of course. And the breeding male and female are usually dominant inside the group, and the other members show subordinate behaviors like grooming the dominant ones and stuff like that.
So what other kind of behaviours, though, have you seen that you find really interesting to watch or to photograph?
They are very curious, and so they approach very, very, very easily to me when I'm shooting them. It's very, very interesting behavior. But the mother carries the child on its back, and that's a very sweet photo to take. I like to take mother and child marmoset photos. It's very, very nice.
So cute. Now, what about predators? What are their biggest threats?
Us, human beings. We're destroying the habitat regularly, and they are adapting to live close to urban areas, which is really bad because when they approach people's homes, sometimes they get killed or injured by people, and also can get killed by domestic animals like dogs. And worse, and now, I don't know if you are aware of this, but we have a yellow fever outbreak here. And some people think that the disease is transmitted by monkeys. The yellow fever is transmitted by mosquitoes. But people think that the disease is transmitted by monkeys, and they're killing hundreds of monkeys, not only marmosets, but bigger monkeys too, even threatened species. But in nature, common marmosets are in the middle of the food chain, and their predators usually are hawks and eagles, snakes, and big cats.
But they are really intriguing little fellas, and your photos of them are just incredible. They always make me smile. And of course, they can always be found on your website, which is www.ojuarapaul.com. And I'll obviously put the links to that on my website. But now another creature that you spend a lot of time with is the burrowing owl. And you've been monitoring and photographing them for about 5 years. It turns out that you don't even need to go very far to see them because they're basically at the uni where you work.
Yes, burrowing owls are very, very well adapted to urban environment, and at that column, I'm monitoring for the past 5 years has a population of 5 to 12 birds, and they live very well there inside the campus, in an area surrounded by buildings, and they dig their burrows there, but they are not bothered but the people who are walking there by the burrows. In the campus, I estimate the population of about 50 or 60 burrowing owls, but I really don't have a precise number.
This environment that they're living in is 303 acres, and you've got all of those owls living there. That's pretty amazing, especially in an urban environment. So they're not huge as far as owls go. They stand to about 7 to 10 inches. How else do you identify them?
You're right. They are pretty small for an owl. And in that colony I'm monitoring, I'm able to identify different owls from marks on their faces, feathers, and also particular characteristics. There's an owl there which has an impaired talon on its right foot. I can recognize it immediately. Yes, and there's another one with a beard-like face, like Santa Claus. Its face, its feathers look like a beard. And it's very easy to spot her too. And so that marks and different characters, they can look all the same for a person who see the owl for the first time. But if you are used to them, you can differentiate one from another.
Especially if you spend so much time with them and you get to know them as you do. They do dig burrows. Do they definitely dig them themselves, or do they take the burrows of other animals?
They usually use burrows dug by other animals, which they prefer. But they can definitely dig it themselves because they have very powerful talons. And I saw them digging before. I think if they see an opportunity, they will prefer to use an old burrow to save energy. But if there is no burrow available, they can definitely dig it themselves.
So inside these burrows, do they live in a family group?
It's a family. In a colony, I can't see a leadership, for example. I don't see it's a hierarchy. It seems that the colony changes regularly, with some members forming other colonies elsewhere. Some members, mostly the youngest ones, stay in the area, while the oldest members go away and form another colony elsewhere. I can't see any former member of that original colony now. They're not there anymore.
Your photos of them are actually really incredible, and they never seem too bothered by your presence. They always seem quite engaged when they see you. How does that work? Are they ever frightened of you?
Well, I use very long lens. I use a 600 millimeter lens, but I try not to bother them. Sometimes when I'm there regularly, they look more comfortable, very, very comfortable with me, with my presence. If I haven't been there for some time, they are a little more scared. And I used to talk to them when I'm taking pictures. I don't know if it works, but sometimes I can be just 5 feet away from them.
Wow.
It's very, very close, yeah. And if I approach the nest, though, and there's outlets there, they become really annoyed and start bobbing and make a rattlesnake sound to scare me.
So they make rattlesnake sounds. What kind of other things do they do? Do they make any other special noises?
Yeah, they make all kind of noises when they are annoyed, when they are bothered. For people, for an animal, they try to scare, they move their wings and bob, and it's very interesting.
Now, you've been monitoring them for 5 years. What kind of behaviours do you like to watch them doing?
They really make funny faces. They can wink at me, and they can roll their eyes like they are bored, and everything. And I'm setting an exhibition called Expressions, where I'm going to show the funniest pictures of all faces. I think it's going to be out by the end of the year.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. So you have been monitoring them for 5 years. What has kept you interested in them? What do you love about them?
They are amazing birds because they are easily approachable and very good models. And my followers on Instagram also love them too. So I like to post burrowing owl pictures regularly. They are animals that I'm sure to find, because sometimes you're going out to try to shoot a particular animal and you don't find any. And the burrowing owls are there. I know anytime I go there at that spot, I can shoot so many burrowing owls in a Sunday afternoon or everything.
So their diet includes a range of small mammals, insects and reptiles and amphibians, as you would expect for an owl. But I also read somewhere that when there's a food shortage, the adult burrowing owls will capture owlets from another nest and feed their own young. This is cannibalism, right? Is it true?
Well, I've never heard about this behavior, but I think it's possible. Really, if there's no food, they will look anywhere and anything. But there's plenty of food around the colony, mostly insects, so this is probably not an issue here. I've never seen something like that, but I think it's possible.
What about predators? Do they have any?
Yeah, like marmosets, main predators are domestic cats and dogs, and they can be hit by cars, but that particular colony is settled in a region where there's almost no traffic, so for that matter, they are good. There's no predators for there in that region besides dogs or cats.
So they're pretty happy and lucky there, right? That's good. Another animal you've been chasing lately is the red-handed howler, which you found in a fragment of Atlantic forest about 100 miles away from where you live in Natal. Why do you want to shoot these guys? The
red-handed howler is a very vulnerable species in a very, very threatened status. And in that pocket of Atlantic forest in my home state, there's a group of 10 to 15 individuals that I really want to photograph before they become extinct. I hope this doesn't happen, but it's a possibility. And I went there before, but I didn't have the right lens, and I was not able to get good images because it was very dark and I was not able to get a good shot. I only managed to photograph the face of the monkey through the canopy, but I will return there soon and see if I find them again. Very, very noisy monkeys. A very, very interesting animal. I want to photograph them so bad.
Well, I want to see your photos of them. They'll be amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, Paul. It's been so good to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you too, Rochelle.
And thank you for listening to Wild Lives by Faunographic. Now, if you'd like to keep an eye on Paul's incredible work, check out his website at www.ojuarapaul.com and on Instagram at ojuarapaul. There'll also be links to his work on faunographic.com and obviously on Instagram at faunographic. Catch you next time.
Wild Lives by Faunographic. Follow us on omni.fm or search for Wild Lives by Faunographic on iTunes. Subscribe today and you'll never miss an episode.